You set your goals for 2024 yet? Or are they still ink on paper? Do you have a plan to accomplish them? Or everything's still up in the air? A few years ago, there was that video was published on YouTube by Steve Harvey that he didn't know about, at least at first. That video went viral and was viewed by about 58 million people at that time. People started meeting Steve and they were like, man, those were so powerful. Thank you so much. And Steve was like, oh, okay, thank you so much. The hell are they talking about? He did not know what they were talking about. Other people meet him and they were like, you cannot imagine what this video did to me. It changed my entire life. Steve once again was like, boy, what video are they talking about? What the people are talking about? So he started to dig deep until he realized on one of his episodes of his family show, Family Feud, they went on a short commercial break. Then Steve started talking to the audience, but not just as any normal talk. It was from heart to heart. But what exactly did he say in that video that made lots of people thank him so much for those powerful, influential words?
Every successful person in this world has jumped.
My dear friends, let's all together jump. When Steve realized how influential that clip was, or that short video, on people, he decided to take it even further and discuss it even more in a book. And this is the book we're going to be talking about today, Jump. So that's the story behind the book. Okay, back to the question. What did he say in that clip? Steve said, there's no successful person out there reached that success until he jumped. He had to jump. Every one of us is gifted at birth. He has a gift from God that he was born with. Some people, they have the ability to identify this gift, and some others are still looking, and some, they don't even believe a word of what I'm saying. But the only truth that we all have in common, that we all have that picture or imagination of a life that we all want to live, or we dream about, or we want to be there someday. Yeah, but you cannot deny that. We all know. We all have that picture in mind. Some of us see this picture in like a big house they want to own and purchase and live with the family in it. Some others, they dream about that perfect car they want to drive someday. Some, they think about the money they want to have in the bank account. Some, they think about the promotion, the health, the education, and so on. And guess what? There are some people in our world that are living that picture, or in that imagination we have for our own. But what have they done different from us? And the simple answer to that, they've done something very, very simple. It's called jump. The gift Steve was talking about, it doesn't have to be like throwing a ball or dancing or playing music. Those are all skills we can learn and develop. But the gift, it can be something unique and simple at the same time. Some people are gifted in frying chicken, and of course, I'm gonna talk about KFC. We all know where they are right now, out of just frying chicken. Some other people, they are gifted in cutting grass, washing cars. Steve mentioned a really cool story about one of his dudes that he refused to hang out with them at night till later time. And he kept telling them, oh, I'm really sorry guys, I have to get up early in the morning to go cut Mrs. Johnson's grass. They started to make fun of him and mocking him. They were like, okay, well, man, this is so crazy. How much does Mrs. Johns pay you anyway for that job? Guess what? This guy, he owns his landscaping company that is worth $4 million. Another person is gifted in washing cars. One of his dudes, he makes over $800,000 a year out of just washing and detailing cars. He's gifted at it. He does it better than others. So one of you would ask me a question. What is a gift and how to find out if I'm gifted or not? That's a cool question. The gift is that one thing you do perfectly in no time or less time than others. In that video, he also mentioned something really cool. Being stuck in a daily routine won't get you anywhere. Maybe it will, but it won't get you the picture you've always dreamed of. We get up early in the morning, we get dressed and go to work that we most likely we don't like, or even if you like it, but it's a job, you're dealing with it as a job. We come back, we eat and we sleep, we wake up in the morning, we do the same thing over and over and over again. And all of this has a definition. It's called the comfort zone. Steve wants a jump out of this comfort zone. How many people out there, you, me, everyone else, we know that they have that daily killing routine? And by the way, I'm one of them, or at least before today. Steve is describing these people. They are existing, but they're not living. And there's a huge difference between them both. Yeah, we exist here in life. We live, work, eat, sleep. But on the other hand, they are not living. They're not living their dream. The number one thing you need to do, you need to find out what you're gifted at. I want you to imagine that there's no money out there. We don't work for money. What would you be doing? Answer this question. There you go. That is your gift there. And gift doesn't have to be something big. big. It can be something really small. I just gave you examples of people cutting grass and detailing cars. But Steve says, I have some bad news for you. Once you decide to jump, I cannot promise that the parachute will open right away. What does it mean? It means you will get smashed first. You will have your skin torn off, clothes torn off. You'll have cuts in your body. You're gonna be bleeding pretty bad. But eventually, the parachute will open. And that's not what I'm saying. That is a promise from God. So that was basically what was in that video of Steve Harvey. Jump. But the thing you don't know, that Steve himself jumped, but not from zero or even below zero. He jumped out of homelessness. Yes, he was homeless for 7 years, to someone who has over $200 million. Do you know how much does he make? He makes $45 million. Do you know how does he make them? Because he used his gift. Steve says, I make all this money out of making jokes, and that's the one thing I'm good at. That's my gift. I want to share with you Steve's story. It's really cool and inspiring. Make sure you're not distracted out there and keep watching. At age of 9, Steve was at his class, and he had that teacher who asked each one of the students to write on a piece of paper what would they like to be in the future. John wrote that he wanted to be a police officer, Mark wanted to be a doctor, X wanted to be an engineer, Y wanted to be a pilot, and when it came to Steve, he wrote, I want to be on TV. So the teacher collected all the papers and she started to read them out loud. And when she came to Steve's piece of paper, she read it silently, but she called him out to say what he wants to be in the future himself. Steve came up in front of the class, held his piece of paper, and at that time he used to stutter, and this is how he said it. I want to be on TV. And of course, I want you to picture now the laughs and the jokes were made about him in that class. The teacher looked at him and she said, honestly, you cannot read even a couple of words. You're expecting yourself to be on TV. Get real. And let me tell you, that wasn't a teacher. That wasn't evil. The real teacher, he has to be your supporter. He has to support you all the time. He has to be always there for you. But a teacher like this, I'm really sorry to call her a teacher. Anyway, she asked Steve to go back home, tell his mom about what happened today. And he did. And guess what? His mom gave him shit too. Yeah, she wasn't that great of a support. He thought that was like way too much or way too big of a dream to have in real life. He didn't like what he heard. He really felt so down. At that time, his dad saw him and asked him, what's the matter, son? What's wrong with you? He told him about what happened. His dad kept silent there for a moment and he said, I will always support you. I will always be there for you. That's your dream? Go for it. Steve was saying those words. They were so powerful, and that teaches us something as parents. Do not ever put or let your kids down. Listen to them, share the ideas with them, support them, no matter how nonsense dreams they have. But I want you to imagine with me a young kid who's 9. He's been hit really hard with the struggle, with the pain, with all the criticism, with all the jokes and laughs at him and his dreams, and he's only 9.